Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, Senator Danny Luge is arrested and charged. Chaos at Curacao Airport, 2 dead, 6 injured in drive-by shooting. Mexico Children's Home probe into previous abuse claims. And in sports, Trinidad and Tobago Sports Minister responds to Dwayne Bravo's criticism of TNT CPL team name change. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. This was the scene outside the courthouse when Senator Danny Luge was granted bail in the sum of $8,000 when he appeared before Roseau Magistrate Bernard Paquette on the afternoon of Thursday, July 17, 2014. He was arrested and charged by Sergeant Alec Matthew of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force earlier that day, following statements he made on July 3rd at a public meeting of the United Workers' Party (UWP) in Soufriere. At the meeting, Luge said that there are some people who deserve to die for keeping Dominica back, and explained that if he wasn't a believer, he would take some of them out. The charge, as read out in court, is incitement to murder Alec Lawrence. However, Attorney Joshua Francis does not agree.
In my humble opinion, that charge ought not to have been brought against Danny Luge on the basis that, one, this is not an offense which is very common. Not very often you find anyone being charged with incitement in Dominica or within the Commonwealth. So in that regard, plus given the lack of evidence, because for that offense to be successfully brought against Danny Luge, it must be shown that he had intentions to have senior counsel Alec Lawrence murdered. And there is no evidence, absolutely none, to show that Danny Luge had such intentions. Danny Luge did not wish to ask anyone whatsoever to murder the senior counsel Alec Lawrence. So we are confident that when all is said and done, that this gentleman will be acquitted.
Meanwhile, Luge, following the court proceedings, said God will turn around whatever was meant for his demise.
Anytime you go into purify gold, it's got to go through the fire. So the fire has just started, but the gold will be purified. God bless.
Leader of the United Workers' Party, Lennox Linton, considers this a historic day in the political life of Dominica.
The interesting thing about that is that this statement that Danny Luge made was on the 3rd of July. He issued an apology and publicly stated his regret before Sergeant Matthew got involved in the matter. And yet, in bringing the charge, Sergeant Matthew has paid absolutely no attention to the fact that Danny Luge has indicated publicly he regretted the statement and fully apologized for it.
Linton pointed out that recently Attorney Lennox Lawrence made statements indicating that the members of the United Workers' Party, the staff of Q95 and Frank Barron's newspaper should be hunted down like President Obama goes after Al-Qaeda. He said that is inciting violence. However, to date, no action has been taken, even after a report was made to the police. UWP supporters who turned out in large numbers in support of Luge said this is simply another case of political victimization.
2000, nobody never apologized. Today, one man apologized, he's arrested. Dominicans need to know, arrest just that. Yes. Nobody never apologized from 2000 to now. So it's apology.
So it's is above the law, Tony is above the law, Alec Warren is above the law, and the others above the law.
Luge is being represented by attorneys Joshua Francis, Gildan Richards, and Kara Shillingford. There were no conditions as part of his bail. The trial is set for November 17, 2014. A 7-day island-wide community tourism training program came to an end on July 17, 2014, when 44 participants received certificates during a ceremony held at the Dominica Public Service Union building. The 3.5 weeks training, which began on June 24th, was organized by the Discover Dominica Authority, DDA, the Dominica Community Tourism Association Incorporated, and the Adult Education Division. Kathleen Cuffey, Head of Product Development at DDA, said the experience coming from the training is a fundamental area to be reviewed for the development of community tourism in Dominica.
Module 1 focused on tourism industry. The module expounded on the global perspective and its influence at the national level, and it spoke to the mandates of appropriate entities and partners creating the development of community tourism around Dominica. Module 2 focused on customer service and hospitality, which I think that is very important as well. The tourism industry is very service-oriented, and this component therefore set the fundamentals so as to prepare you to be able to receive visitors and to do it very well.
Overall, participants covered 5 different modules. The additional modules comprised business management, community history and profile, and successful tourism case studies. Groups were also required to design a community tourism product experience and present it on the final day of training.
The interest shown by the participants were extremely positive and definitely encouraging. During the session, it was observed that further training for practical sessions on social media and internet use is a general requirement, as well as focusing in more detail on product development, promotions, and marketing for partnership, record keeping, and analysis.
Colin Piper, CEO of DDA, urged the participants to put what they have learned into practice, since there is no substitute for knowledge and excellent service.
Community tourism is the hottest thing right now in the tourism industry. Okay, people once upon a time used to go and go to beaches and we call it fly and flop. Okay, but there's a lot of people now, there's a lot of visitors who want to experience the life, they want to participate in the experience of the locals. And they don't necessarily want to do that in the big city. They want to go out into the communities and they want to experience and be a part of your daily living.
The goal of the training was to improve the overall community tourism experience. A large number of Lubia residents turned up at the Lubia Resource Center on Wednesday, July 16th to vote for their favorite candidate for the new Lubia Village Council. The 9 individuals who contested the elections are Rhoda James, Vanessa James, Rosamond Lebrun, Kathy Moise, Derwin Peltier, Wilfred Peltier, Janice Roberts, Vincent Stephen, and Clara Walsh. Lubia Village Council Clerk Glenda Castle said the turnout for voting was the largest she has witnessed in over 20 years.
The results of the election, which took place on July 16, 2020, is as follows. Wilfred Peltier, 96 votes. Rosamond Lebrun, 93 votes. Derwin Peltier, 79 votes. Kathy Moise, 72 votes. And Janice Roberts, 70 votes. The other persons were Clara Walsh, who got 63 votes, and Roger James and Vanessa James each got 62 votes.
The 5 top individuals each submitted a name of their choice to the Minister of Gender Affairs and Social Services, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, who will then choose 3 out of the 5 names, or she may choose 3 other individuals to be nominated to sit on the council. The 3 selected in addition to the 5 elected will meet to then decide who will be selected as the chairman of the Lubia Village Council, among other matters. Meanwhile, the residents of Lubia are calling for further development of their community, which was echoed by Edmund Sully.
I believe for us to make our community grow, we need to be united. The politics and the religion have to be put aside, and we have to learn to love and understand each other. That's what I strongly believe, that for Lubia to grow, to be a positive place, we need to love and respect each other's policy and learn to forget people's past.
Sully said he would like to see more sporting activities organized for young people to take advantage of. Agate Williams, who has resided in the community for the past 12 years, says there is work to be done.
For the new members of the Village Council, I would like to see them working with the youths in terms of having programs like, let's say, basically computer literacy programs, to get the young guys off the streets. And also having classes like maths classes, English classes for basically children that haven't completed their high school education.
One of the successful candidates, Derwin Peltier, says he will work towards the further development of the Lubia playing field. He added the road network in Forbawa and Everton need upgrading, in addition to their public convenience and resource center. Meanwhile, Helena Titt says she wants all the elected persons to work as a team.
We don't want it to be a division there and a division there. We want it to be a teamwork. And most of the things we want in Lubia, for an example, is the playing field. We want our playing field so the young children can go on the playing field and play their little football. The number 2 is the cleanup of Lubia, a proper cleanup of Lubia. Not only clean Madgell Road, Lale Coco, but the whole of Loubier. You understand me? The whole of Loubier, we want to be cleaning. Number 3 project, what I want in Loubier is when you see anything happening in Loubier, it have to be a Loubier thing. Not a thing like something happening and we from Loubier and we're not involved in what happening in Loubier. We want it to be Loubier. Not Fobawa and nothing for Loubier, and not Newton and nothing for Loubier. We want it to be a Loubier council.
On July 20th, Dominica will record the life of yet another centenarian. Mrs. Maria Sylvia Marcisi Joseph, who resides at La Plaine, will on Sunday celebrate her 100th birthday. The celebration will begin with a mass at 10:15 a.m. at the St. Francis Xavier Chapel, followed by a reception at the Jones Beaupre Primary School. Marcisi was born on July 16, 1914. According to her family members, she is still young at heart and attends mass regularly and enjoys independent living, making her monthly trips to Roseau to conduct business. When we return, more stories. Welcome back. On Friday, July 18th, 2 groups will graduate from criminologist and sociologist Dr. Peter K.B. Serjeant's Better Me, Better You program. The criminologist, originally from Trafalgar, last year partnered with Gloria Walsh, director at Love One Teach One Foundation, and embarked on a journey to direct at-risk youth towards self-discovery.
We engaged in the Better Me, Better You program that I initiated last year as the head of the Peaceful World Movement, collaborating with her on the ground. And the idea of the Better Me, Better You is to create what we usually call quality of life skill. Well, I call quality of life skills, but it's really social and emotional learning.
The program focuses on skills that deal with self-awareness, self-direction, self-management, values, and violence and conflict resolution, among others. According to Dr. Saint-Jean, they saw the need to develop quality of life skills among these young people in order to reduce the probability of crime, violence, and delinquency in Dominica.
She had asked me to engage, create a curriculum that would help the young persons be able to withstand or to be able to buttress the type of life circumstances that they face in communities like Silver Lake, and for those of them that are in impoverished environments that may make them more exposed to potentially crime and violence.
Dr. Saint-Jean did note, however, that the program does not suggest that persons who live in those environments will turn out bad, but understands that they may need extra help to realize their potential. Currently, the curriculum has not been funded by anyone, but he is hopeful that persons will recognize the value of early intervention and help the cause.
The Better Me, Better You curriculum is part of the general idea that I've been advocating, maybe since 2009 or 2010, that the approach that Dominica should take towards the issue of crime and violence is not responding so much to the problems of crime and the cost of violence, but rather to focus on the profits of peace.
The groups include persons from the Dominica State Prison and children who reside at Operation Youth Week. The criminologist says he has already submitted a proposal at the Prime Minister's request for Dominica to be the pilot country to develop a peace industry. All roads will lead to the village of Cochrane on Sunday, August 3rd, 2014, when the community will stage their annual Rabbit Fest. Chairman of the Cochrane Improvement Committee, Ronaldson Piper, says this is the festival's 10th year, and it will be one to remember.
We're going to have a lot of activities on the day. I can tell you, a lot of activities. For instance, we're going to have a rabbit race. I mean, that's going to be fun. Rabbit race. We're going to have ship boxing. We're going to have a ship and somebody's going to be boxing with that ship. I can tell it's going to be fun. We're going to have the bag racing. You're going to receive a prize for the bag racing. We have bun eating. We have Nigel and Fred. And it's a lot of fun. I can tell you on that day it's a lot of fun. So we want you, it's like an educational thing we are doing. It's something that you can bring your family, your children. It's an educational thing. You can come and learn a lot. And I can tell you, we'll have some good music. We have we will be also having some cultural groups with us. So at that day, it's going to be a day of fun.
He noted that although staging of the festival has been affected by the deplorable conditions of the road, the government is working on some rehabilitation projects to ensure it is safe. To properly manage the flow of traffic, vehicles will travel via the River Estate route to Cochrane and exit using the Springfield route. Piper noted a number of rabbit dishes will also be available for the public.
We're going to have all kind of different dishes. We're going to have barbecue rabbit, stew rabbit, sweet and sour. All kind of dishes. So just come and just have fun on that day. We're urging you again to come and just come prepare. bring your family, bring your children. We're going to have fun on that day.
He also noted that the festival is a vital aspect of the community's economy as farmers use it as an avenue to sell their produce. Rabbit Fest will begin from 10 a.m. However, the official opening ceremony will take place at 4 p.m. And in court news, 35-year-old Shanika Pollock of Cork Street, who has 12 prior theft convictions, added one more to her record and was sentenced to 6 months hard labor. Pollock, who pleaded guilty to stealing 3 toys from Jolly's pharmacy, each costing $5, said she had done so to make her children happy. According to the facts, she had entered the toy store and placed the toys in a black plastic bag. She took up some other items which she paid for and had exited the store when she was approached by the security officer, who informed her that he had observed her actions and requested that he take a look at the bag she was carrying. She was later arrested and taken into custody, where she told police she was willing to pay for the toys. In court on Thursday, July 17, she told the magistrate that she does not want to see her children suffer and was a single parent doing the best that she could. Before passing sentence, Magistrate Bernard Parkett reminded Pollock of her previous convictions and the most recent in March of 2014, when she received a 1-year suspended sentence for 24 months. He also noted that he initially thought she was misguided, but after seeing her conviction card, he realized that this was habitual. According to him, Pollock is the only thief he's seen who has gotten so many chances, and she was using her children to the max.